I am excited to share with you some powerful insights on how to overcome one of the biggest challenges we all face, procrastination. In today's message, we will discuss the root causes of procrastination and provide you with practical strategies to break free from its grip. I know firsthand how frustrating it can be to constantly put things off and feel like we are not living up to our full potential. But here's the good news. You are not alone. Procrastination is a common struggle that affects people from all walks of life. However, the key to overcoming it lies in understanding why we procrastinate and taking intentional action to change our habits. By tuning into this video, you have already taken the first step towards beating procrastination for good. I am confident that with the right mindset and tools, you can turn things around and become a more productive and successful individual. So let's dive into our 5 ways to beat procrastination and start taking control of our lives. Remember, it's never too late to make a positive change. Let's get started. Starting with the 5th way, you can beat procrastination for good, which is rewarding yourself. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Jim, isn't rewarding yourself just another form of procrastination? And my answer to that is no. You see, there is a difference between rewarding yourself and indulging in laziness. Procrastination is about avoiding the things we need to do, while rewarding ourselves is about celebrating the things we have done. It's about acknowledging our progress and giving ourselves a little pat on the back for a job well done. So let's dive in and learn how to use rewards to beat procrastination once and for all. First and foremost, it's important to understand that our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. This is why we often procrastinate, because the task at hand seems daunting and unpleasant. But what if I told you that you can use this wiring to your advantage? By setting up a reward system, you are essentially tricking your brain into thinking that the task is pleasurable. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a big project due at work, and you've been putting it off for weeks. Instead of dreading the task, try breaking it down into smaller, manageable chunks and setting a reward for each completed chunk. It could be something as simple as taking a 10-minute break to watch your favorite show or treating yourself to a cup of coffee. By doing this, you are creating a positive association with the task, making it easier to tackle and ultimately beating procrastination. Next, it's important to set realistic and meaningful rewards. Many times, we set rewards that are either too extravagant or too insignificant. If the reward is too big, we may end up procrastinating even more because the task seems too small in comparison. On the other hand, if the reward is too small, it may not be enough to motivate us to complete the task. That's why it's important to find a balance and choose rewards that are meaningful to us. It could be something as simple as taking a bubble bath or treating yourself to a nice dinner. The key is to make it something that you truly enjoy and look forward to. Another tip for using rewards to beat procrastination is to make them specific and time-bound. When we have a clear goal and a deadline for our reward, it creates a sense of urgency and accountability. For example, instead of saying, "I'll reward myself when I finish this project," try saying, "I'll reward myself with a spa day on Saturday if I finish this project by Friday." This not only gives you something to look forward to, but also motivates you to complete the task within a specific time frame. Now, I want to address a common misconception about rewards. They don't have to be material things. While it's nice to treat ourselves with material possessions, there are other ways to reward ourselves that can be just as effective. For example, you can reward yourself with quality time with loved ones, a day off from work, or even a sense of accomplishment. The key is to find what truly brings you joy and use that as your reward. Lastly, I want to remind you that rewards should not be used as a form of avoidance. If you find yourself constantly procrastinating and using rewards as an excuse, it's time to reevaluate your priorities and your work ethic. Rewards should be used as a tool to motivate and celebrate, not as a way to escape from our responsibilities. And now to the fourth way you can beat procrastination for good, which is eliminate distractions. In this fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions that pull us away from our priorities and keep us from taking action towards our dreams. From text messages to endless to-do lists, it seems like there is always something vying for our attention. But here's the truth, my friends. Distractions are not the problem. It is our response to them that makes all the difference. We have the power to control our reactions and eliminate distractions from our lives. And that, my friends, is the key to beating procrastination for good. So how do we eliminate distractions? Let me share with you 3 powerful strategies that have helped me and countless others in their journey towards success. Firstly, we must identify our distractions. Take a moment to reflect on your day. What are the things that consume your time and energy? What are the activities that you engage in that do not align with your goals? It could be mindlessly scrolling through social media, binge-watching TV shows, or even constantly checking your emails. Whatever it may be, make a list of your distractions and be honest with yourself. Once we have identified our distractions, we must take action to eliminate them. This brings me to my second point. We must create an environment that supports our goals and minimizes distractions. This could mean setting boundaries with technology, decluttering our physical space, or even changing our daily routines. For example, if social media is a major distraction for you, consider deleting the apps from your phone or setting specific times during the day to check them. If your workspace is cluttered, take some time to organize it and create a conducive environment for productivity. And if you find yourself constantly checking your emails, schedule specific times during the day to respond to them instead of being at its beck and call. Remember, my friends, we are the architects of our own lives. We have the power to design our environment in a way that supports our goals and minimizes distractions. It may require some effort and discipline, but the results will be worth it. Finally, we must learn to prioritize our tasks and focus on the most important ones. Often we get caught up in the busyness of our day-to-day lives and end up procrastinating on the tasks that truly matter. This is where the power of prioritization comes in. Take a moment to think about your goals. What are the things that will truly move you closer to them? What are the tasks that will have the most impact on your life? These are the things that should take priority over everything else. Once we have identified our priorities, we must learn to say no to distractions and focus on the task at hand. It may require some sacrifice, but we must remember that every time we choose to give in to distractions, we are sacrificing our dreams and goals. My friends, let me remind you that success is not a destination, it is a journey. And on this journey, we will face challenges and distractions. But if we stay focused on our priorities and eliminate distractions, we will be one step closer to our goals. Now, I am not saying that distractions will disappear completely from our lives. They will always be there, but it is up to us to choose how we respond to them. We must remember that every time we choose to eliminate a distraction, we are choosing to invest in our future selves. And now to the third way you can beat procrastination for good, which is create a schedule and stick to it. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have a to-do list? I am sure most of you do. But how many of you actually follow that list and complete the tasks on time? I bet the number is not as high. You see, having a to-do list is not enough. We need to have a schedule, a plan, a roadmap, to guide us towards our goals. Without a schedule, we are just wandering aimlessly. And that is a recipe for procrastination. So why is creating a schedule so important? First and foremost, it helps us to prioritize our tasks. We live in a world where we are bombarded with endless distractions and demands on our time. We have work, family, social obligations, and the list goes on. It is easy to get overwhelmed and lose track of what is truly important. But when we have a schedule, we know exactly what needs to be done and when. We can prioritize our tasks based on their importance and urgency. This not only helps us to be more productive, but it also reduces our stress levels. Secondly, a schedule helps us to stay focused. When we have a set time for each task, we are less likely to get sidetracked. We all know how easy it is to get lost in the black hole of social media or spend hours binge watching our favorite TV show. But when we have a schedule, we know that we have a limited amount of time to complete a task, and that keeps us focused and motivated. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but Jim, I am not a robot. I can't stick to a schedule every single day. And you are absolutely right. We are human beings, and we have our ups and downs. There will be days when we are not feeling our best, and that is okay. But here's the thing. A schedule is not meant to be rigid. It is meant to be flexible. Life happens, and we need to be adaptable. If we have a schedule, we can easily adjust it to accommodate unexpected events or changes in our mood. The key is to have a general structure that we can follow, but also leave room for flexibility. Now let's talk about the most crucial aspect of creating a schedule: sticking to it. It is easy to make a schedule, but it takes discipline and determination to stick to it. We are creatures of habit, and it takes time and effort to form new habits. But I can guarantee you that once you start following a schedule, it will become second nature to you. You will no longer have to rely on willpower to get things done because it will become a part of your routine. So how do we stick to a schedule? The first step is to be realistic. We often make the mistake of overestimating what we can accomplish in a day. We pack our schedules with tasks and end up feeling overwhelmed and defeated. Instead, start small. Set achievable goals and gradually increase your workload. This will not only help you stick to your schedule, but it will also boost your confidence and motivation. The second step is to be disciplined. It is easy to hit the snooze button and skip your morning workout or to procrastinate on a project because it seems daunting. But discipline is the key to success. You need to remind yourself of your goals and the reasons why you're following this schedule. And when you feel like giving up, remember this: discipline weighs ounces, while regret weighs tons. The third and final step is to have an accountability system. Find an accountability partner, someone who will hold you accountable for your actions. It could be a friend, a family member, or even a coach. Knowing that someone is counting on you to follow through with your schedule will give you that extra push to stay on track. Now, I want to leave you with a few practical tips for creating and sticking to a schedule. First, plan your day the night before. This will give you a head start and make your mornings more productive. Second, break down your tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. This will make them less intimidating and more achievable. Third, schedule breaks and downtime. It is essential to give yourself time to recharge and rejuvenate. And lastly, be consistent. Stick to your schedule even on days when you don't feel like it. Consistency is the key to forming a habit. And now to the second way you can beat procrastination for good, which is break tasks into smaller, manageable chunks. We all have big dreams and ambitions, but often we get overwhelmed by the enormity of the tasks ahead of us. We procrastinate because we don't know where to start or how to tackle the mountain of work in front of us. But here's the truth. No task is too big or too difficult if we break it down into smaller, manageable chunks. Think about it. When you look at a huge project or a daunting task, your mind immediately starts to come up with excuses and reasons why you can't do it. But when you break it down into smaller parts, suddenly it doesn't seem so impossible anymore. You start to see the individual steps that need to be taken, and you can focus on one at a time. Let me give you an example. Imagine you want to write a book. The thought of writing a whole book can be overwhelming and can easily lead to procrastination. But if you break it down into smaller chunks, such as writing a chapter a week or even a page a day, suddenly it becomes much more manageable. And before you know it, you have a completed book in your hands. The same principle applies to any task or goal you want to achieve. Whether it's starting a business, losing weight, or learning a new skill, breaking it down into smaller chunks will make it less intimidating and more achievable. But breaking tasks into smaller chunks is not just about making things easier for ourselves. It also allows us to make progress and see results more quickly. When we have a big goal, we often put all our focus and energy into it. And it can take a long time before we see any tangible results. This can be demotivating and can lead to procrastination. But when we break it down into smaller chunks, we can celebrate small wins along the way, which keeps us motivated and moving forward. Another benefit of breaking tasks into smaller chunks is that it helps us to prioritize. When we have a long to-do list, it can be challenging to figure out where to start. But by breaking it down, we can identify which tasks are most important and need to be done first. This way, we are not wasting time on less critical tasks, and we are making progress towards our ultimate goal. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, but Jim, I don't have the time to break tasks into smaller chunks. I barely have enough time to get everything done as it is. And to that I say, making time to break tasks down is an investment in your future success. It may seem like it's taking up more time in the short term, but in the long run, it will save you time and help you achieve your goals faster. So how do we go about breaking tasks into smaller, manageable chunks? The first step is to clearly define the end goal. What is it that you want to achieve? Be specific and write it down. Next, brainstorm all the steps that need to be taken to achieve that goal. Don't worry about the order at this point. Just get everything down on paper. Then organize the steps in a logical order, starting with what needs to be done first. Finally, break down each step into smaller, more manageable tasks. Set deadlines for each task and make sure to schedule them into your calendar. Remember, the key is to focus on one task at a time. Don't get overwhelmed by looking at the big picture. Instead, concentrate on the task at hand and give it your full attention. This will help you to be more productive and get things done more efficiently. I also want to remind you that it's essential to be flexible and adapt your plan if things don't go as expected. Life is unpredictable, and there may be obstacles or unexpected events that come up. But by breaking tasks into smaller chunks, you can adjust and continue to make progress toward your goal. And now to the number one way you can beat procrastination for good, which is set clear and specific goals. You see, procrastination thrives on ambiguity and lack of direction. When we don't have a clear target in mind, it's easy to procrastinate and get lost in the sea of distractions. But when we have a specific goal, a destination to reach, it becomes much easier to take action and stay focused. Let me share with you a personal story. When I was in my early 20s, I was working as a stock clerk at a small store. I had big dreams and aspirations, but I was constantly procrastinating and making excuses. One day, my boss called me into his office and said, "Jim, I see potential in you." But if you continue to procrastinate and not take action, you will never reach your full potential. Those words hit me hard, and I realized that I needed to set clear and specific goals if I wanted to achieve my dreams. That day I went home and wrote down my goals: to become a successful entrepreneur, to travel the world, and to inspire others to reach their full potential. These were not just vague dreams. They were specific and measurable goals. I even set a deadline for each goal. And let me tell you, that was the turning point in my life. I started taking action, and within a few years I had achieved all of my goals and more. Now, I'm not saying that setting goals will magically make procrastination disappear. It takes discipline and commitment to follow through on our goals. But having a clear target in mind makes it much easier to stay on track and overcome procrastination. So how do we set clear and specific goals? Let me share with you a simple yet powerful framework that has helped me and thousands of others to achieve our goals. First, we need to have a clear understanding of what we want to achieve. This requires introspection and self-awareness. Take some time to think about your passion, your strengths, and your values. What do you want to accomplish in life? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Once you have a clear understanding of your desires, you can move on to the next step. Second, we need to make our goals specific and measurable. Instead of saying, "I want to be successful," be specific about what success means to you. Is it financial freedom, a fulfilling career, or a happy family? And then, set a measurable target. For example, I want to earn $100,000 in the next year. This gives you a clear target to work towards and allows you to track your progress. Third, we need to set a deadline for our goals. This is crucial because it creates a sense of urgency and helps us prioritize our actions. Without a deadline, our goals become mere wishes that we can put off indefinitely. So set a realistic but challenging deadline for each of your goals. Fourth, we need to break down our goals into smaller, actionable steps. This is where many people get stuck. They have big dreams and goals, but they don't know where to start. By breaking down our goals into smaller tasks, we make them more manageable and less overwhelming. This also allows us to track our progress and make adjustments if needed. Fifth, we need to hold ourselves accountable. It's easy to make excuses and give in to procrastination when we don't have anyone to answer to. But when we have someone to hold us accountable, we are more likely to take action and stay on track. This could be a friend, a mentor, or a coach who can provide support and guidance along the way. Sixth, we need to visualize our goals. This may sound like a cliche, but visualization is a powerful tool for achieving our goals. When we can see ourselves achieving our goals, it becomes easier to stay motivated and focused. So take some time every day to visualize yourself living your dream life, whether it's running a successful business, traveling the world, or making a positive impact in the world. And finally, we need to take action. Setting goals is just the first step. The real work begins when we take action towards our goals. We need to be disciplined and consistent in our actions, even when we don't feel like it. Remember, success is not a one-time event. It's a result of daily habits and actions. Now, I know that setting goals may seem daunting to some of you, but let me tell you, the hardest part is getting started. Once you have a clear and specific goal, everything else falls into place. You become more focused, motivated, and determined to achieve your goals. And as you start seeing progress, you will gain momentum and become unstoppable. So, my friends, I urge you to set clear and specific goals for yourself today. Don't let procrastination hold you back from living the life you deserve. Remember, the only way to beat procrastination for good is to have a clear target in mind. And once you achieve your goals, you will realize that the journey was just as rewarding as the destination. Thank you